Good afternoon, class. Before I begin my informative speech, I would like to introduce my audience. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, there are currently over 7 million offenders in the criminal justice system in the United States. Shockingly, over 4 million of these offenders are living in communities under community supervision because they have been given a probationary sentence. During this informative speech, I will give a brief definition of the origins of probation as well as define probation, and I will also discuss the effectiveness and efficiency of probation in the United States of America. I am currently a senior in the Criminal Justice Department of North Carolina Central University with a concentration in law enforcement, so I have studied probation over the course of the last 4 years. According to Corrections in the Community, my current textbook written by Edward Latessa, probation is defined as the conditional freedom granted to an offender dependent upon they meet certain standards given down by the judge. Before we discuss the certain terms and conditions of probationary sentences, I would like to give a brief history of probation in the United States of America. John Augustus is most commonly known as the father of probation in the United States. Augustus was a volunteer in the court in Boston, Massachusetts. One day, he bailed a man out of jail who was facing charges of public intoxication. He also, after bailing them out, helped the man find a job. The judge ordered the man to return back to the court in 3 weeks. After that, Augustus proceeded to bail out over 1,000 men and about 800 women. He believed that the criminal justice system is meant to reform criminals and to prevent future crimes, and not just to punish criminals based out of a spirit of vengeance. This mindset of rehabilitation forever changed the criminal justice system and probation in the United States. As it pertains to the current restrictions and terms of probation, there are multiple ones that can change depending on the judge. Some of these conditions include obeying laws, submitting to searches, regularly reporting to a probation officer, as well as not possessing a firearm, and also, depending on the probationer, refraining from using any substances or alcohol. There are also specific conditions of probation. These conditions include psychological treatment, electronic monitoring, day reporting, house arrest, and also participating in drug abuse programs. This is all dependent on what the court and the judge deem that will best help the offender rehabilitate themselves and no longer participate in deviant behavior. Lastly, probation is a very cost-effective and efficient program. It greatly reduces the taxpayer money because it's cheaper to have an offender in their community being supervised by a probation officer than it is to keep them confined. Probation also reduces in overcrowding in prisons, and overall for the criminal justice system this helps because there are a lot less dangers for correctional officers in facilities because they have less people to monitor and they're less likely to be a victim of an attack because of overcrowding. Before we close our speech, I would like to ask my audience if they had any questions that I could answer. It looks like they do not have any questions. I would like to thank you all for listening to the speech and for viewing it. Any criticism and critiques is more than helpful and welcome. Thank you.